field, catches it for a touchdown.
Would you
That's
look
going to
at
count
that?
Evergreen.
Would you look at that?
Cool with the big three. Great. Takes it all the way now. Nice. Hey, we want to welcome you guys here to McKenzie Stadium. Week 10 here, Friday night football. We got playoff implications going on here. These teams are going to race for the seed. We're going to stand by just for a brief moment here and have the national anthem, and we'll get right back to you. All right, hey, we want to welcome you guys back after that lovely rendition of our national anthem there. I'm Rodney Lawrence, Ryan Vassbinder. You're watching EPS Sports. I want to thank you guys for joining us here tonight where we've got the Union Titans going against Enumclaw Hornets. Enumclaw coming down from up north here to take these guys on for Week 10. There's 30 teams playing this weekend between tonight and tomorrow. To get 15 spots where the seating will be taken care of on Sunday morning. So these guys are definitely playing for the next spot to the tournament, to the state tournament. So Ryan, let's talk a little bit about what's going to go on between these two teams here tonight. Obviously, Union is coming into this game ranked number one in just about all the polls across the state of Washington right now, and Max Prep also as well, and the Associated Press has them ranked as the number one team in the state of Washington right now. Enumclaw is going to have their work cut out for them tonight.
Yeah, they certainly are, and Union is so deep in any position they have. I mean, they even went 2 weeks without their starting quarterback, Lincoln Victor. They beat a Skyview team down here who's also headed to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And so they have so many offensive weapons that they can go to at any point in time during the football game.
Yeah, they sure do. And they, like I said, we kind of a little history lesson about how well the GSHL has actually done down here. The Hornets actually coming from the Mountain Division up north, the North Puget Sound League up there. And they're actually 1-16 in Week 10 playoffs in the past 2 years. On the other hand, GSHL Week 4, GSL 4A, I should say, in Week 10, haven't lost a game since 2013. So got the work cut out for them tonight. Enumclaw is going to definitely have to come out here and play their best football and keep Union's offense off the field.
Yeah, that's going to be a key for the Hornets. They need to keep the football. They need to march it down the field methodically and move the chains and really just wear down this Titans defense.
Yep, they sure are going to have to do that. So we get ready to kick it off. Union has decided to take the ball on the second half and go ahead and give it to the Hornets here on the first half. Alex Koga, the kicker, and we are off. And it looks like this ball is going to be picked up right there around the 5-yard line. And it looks like he'll make it down to the 20. The carrier on that one is Jacob Burns. Number 3 is also one of their receivers. Starting quarterback tonight for Enumclaw Hornets is Kellen Krantz. He's been their guy the entire season here so far and has actually done a pretty good job. He's also done a pretty good job. Let's see here. Go ahead and talk about his stats after this next play, after this first play here. Going to hand that off. There is nowhere for him to go on that, and that's going to be the running back, Nick Herbert. Or Herbert, I should say. Herbert, big guy, 210, and, kind of their man, their running back. He's kind of the guy who carries the load for them, if you will, as far as their running is concerned. And just to go back to it, Kellen Krantz passed for 1,300 yards and 13 touchdowns so far this year. So not bad there. Quarterback's going to roll out to the far side. Has a man open, and it's going to be in and out of the hands there of their receiver. The intended receiver on that one is Caden Loop, number 80. Caden's only a sophomore, so getting to play some Friday night football early in his high school career. Still got a lot to go here. That's going to bring up 3rd down and 15. They'll need to get to the 29-yard line for the first down here. This time they go with an empty backfield. Krantz drops back. He's going to get flushed out of the pocket. Still looking down the field. Makes the connection there to Loop. And Loop is going to get pushed out of bounds at about the 31. So he is going to get enough for the first down. So nice little play there for the quarterback, Krantz, to keep that play alive and get that ball up the field to an open receiver.
Yeah, it was a good little rollout by Krantz, able to go ahead and move the chains, and that's what we were talking about pregame.
Yeah.
And so here we see on the replay, he's taking a look at his options, and he just rolls outside of the pocket, and he finds his receiver, and it's good for the first down.
Sure is. Got a man in motion. This time we're going to hand that one right up the middle to the running back on that one. Matthew Dion, number 25, handling the responsibilities on that carry. Looks like they had moved Herberts to fullback on that play. So Krantz breaks the huddle. This time they're going to line up with 3 receivers down here into the sidelines here. Roll out there. And Krantz is going to have to just throw that one away. Looks like his main receiver there, Loop, fell in the middle of his route. And looks like he fell when he was trying to make that cut back towards the middle of the field, which is Krantz was ultimately looking for. And he just had to throw that one away. And that'll bring up 3rd down. Need the 41-yard line to move the chains again. This time they line up both running backs on the far side of quarterback. Looking for somewhere to go. Makes that first one. Gets around the corner. And is only going to get about 1 yard, maybe 2 out of this. Kind of seems like where they're going to have to spot the ball here. But it will bring up a 4th down and long situation, and we'll see what's going to happen here. And that will bring out the punt team for Enumclaw. The 2 deep men for Union are, that looks like Darien Chase and Alex Vallejo. Punts, which drives him back a little bit, but he's going to catch this one on the run. Takes up off the far side of the field. all the way up the sideline before he gets pushed out of bounds at about the 46. So the Union Titans now offense comes out here on the field, led by their quarterback, Lincoln Victor, who is done all kinds of great things down here in the Greater St. Helens League in the last 9 weeks. And definitely excited about seeing what this young man's going to do through the playoffs. Just an extra threat out there. Union will come out and 3 receivers down here on the short side of the field. Going to send Chase in motion. They're going to give Chase the ball this time. Chase dips in, dips back out, makes the one-man miss, and it looks like he's going to get to about the 44-yard line before he stopped. So a nice little run there is going to get him, looks like about 4 yards and bring up 2nd and 6.
Yeah, Darien Chase is so fast off the line. He's able to change direction so quickly.
Sure is.
Throughout the season, he's had, as a receiver, he's had 40 receptions for 500 yards and 8 touchdowns. It just shows you how versatile he is.
Yeah, he's playing some ball. Sends him back into motion again. They're going to give it to him one more time. He is looking for the edge. This time's not going to have as much luck as he had the first time, and he's going to go down at about the 42-yard line. It'll be known that Darien Chase also has committed to Nebraska to go play some college ball. Some next level football for that young man, so it's always nice to see somebody coming out of Clark County going to one of the big name schools and well-known schools for years as being a football organization. Nice throw out there to Mr. Vallejo, who makes the catch, and he's going to go down at about the 36-yard line. That is going to be enough to move the chains. Running back there with Victor is Niall Jones. Lincoln drops back. He's going to let that one go. Has his receiver open. He's going to catch that one. And he is going to go down right there at the 3-yard line. This first series seems to be the Darien Chase show here. The ball's gone to him 3 times, and it looks like they're not going to give him the touchdown. The band's just kind of struck up a little early on that one.
No,
they did give him the touchdown. I thought they had him down at the 3-yard line, but they're going to give him the touchdown, so we'll give Darien Chase the big catch and the TD.
Yeah, the white hat called signal for a touchdown. The side judge marked him down at the 3. The Enumclaw coach wasn't happy about the
I bet he wasn't.
Decision about the play.
Christian Alcorn, the kicker, and he is going to make it. So with 7:43 left to play in the quarter, Union on the scoreboard in their first series in the first quarter of play here. Here's the replay. Just a straight drop back. I mean, just let that go and let Darien Chase be Darien Chase. Well, okay, with the replay, I can see how possibly they gave that to him. That knee did go down right there on the goal line. So good call.
Yeah, and Lincoln Victor just dropped that ball on a dime.
Yeah, he sure did.
And the only place that Darien Chase could catch it.
Two deep men for the Hornets are Jacob Burns and Jackson McCain. The other two teams out of Clark County are traveling this weekend, and that would be Skyview and Camas. Skyview going out to Hazen, and we'll let you know where Camus is going to go here in just a bit. Ball's going to get caught right there at the 10. McCann will make it out to about the 22-yard line before he is pulled down. Kellen Krantz, the quarterback, brings these guys out here and see if they can't start something here on this second series for them of this first quarter. Enumclaw has two running backs in the backfield this time. They're going to hand this one back off to the main running back, Herbert. Herbert is not going to get much out of that. Give him a couple of yards, and it looks like they're going to give him about 3 on that play, and we'll bring up 2nd and 7.
Yeah, and it's going to be key for the Union defense to stop Herbert's tonight. I mean, he's had a 1,000-yard season, almost 1,100 yards, and he's rushed for 17 touchdowns. Yeah,
so, I mean, he's definitely somebody to deal with. I mean, he's a low 210 as well. Pass right out there to the receiver, who's going to get just enough for the first down. That's Ethan Eilertson. Makes the catch and moves the chains. Two running backs are going to give this one to the first one right up the gut. Union defense is going to be super stingy on that play and not allow a whole lot to happen on that play. Ball carrier being Cameron McKee. 6'1", 195, so he's not a small guy either. But the Union defensive line had a better push on that play. Quarterback drops back. He's going to get flushed out of the pocket. This time he's going to take the sack. And he's going to get slung down there by one of the tackles there for Union. Jackson Saylor was actually out there paying the linebacker. Give him credit for that sack. Quarterback rolls out. It looks like it was a screen play they tried to set up. Krantz just looks like that one got away from him when he was trying to get it out there to Eilertson. That'll bring up another 4th down, and Enumclaw will be kicking the ball back to the Union Titans. This time he's going to fair catch it, and he drops it this time. Thank gosh there was somebody there on that side to help him get that ball corralled in, because he called a fair catch, but the guy was right there in his face. So there is a penalty flag on the play. We'll see what that is all about. See if that had anything to do with the fact that
he dropped the football.
He dropped the football, and a fair catch was called.
Yeah, because he called fair catch.
Yeah, he sure
and
did.
As the ball came into his arms, he got lit up.
Yeah, and then that's when he dropped it. So, yeah, it is going to go against Enumclaw. Tyler Summers was out there. He was the one who actually called for the fair catch, number 21 for the Titans. So with that penalty, that's going to bring the ball up to the 43-yard line. Union will have the ball for their first set of downs right there. Ciafelli lined up in the slot. Drops back. And they're going to pick this one off. He read that one right away. Stepped right in for the touchdown. And a defensive touchdown right there for Enumclaw. That is going to tie this game up. And it looks like there is going to be a penalty flag there for excessive celebration as he backs his way into the end zone for the 6 points. Definitely looked like somebody was watching film on that play. That was Anthony Russell, steps right in front of that for the pick six. You know, and I do believe that is Lincoln Victor's first pick six of the season.
I think you're right. And yeah, he was just he was able to read that so well.
It sure was.
And you know, when
so the unsportsmanlike call is for the excessive celebration. I'm sure Anthony Russell did kind of back his way into the end zone when he realized he was going to get it. And that's definitely going to get you a penalty flag on Friday night football. Now, on Sunday nights, that's a little different story. But on Fridays, that's going to get you a penalty.
You know, and as Union being, you know, the number one ranked team in the state for really all season.
Yeah.
They have to realize that there's film out there on them.
Yeah.
You know, that their bread and butter may not work at times.
Yeah, it sure did. I mean, that was textbook right there. That is definitely a sign that somebody. That was the first time I believe Ciafelli was in the slot and on the wide side of the field at that. So it was kind of like probably feeling that that's where he was going to. Russell right there to pick that one off. Here's the replay on it. Yeah, he just steps right in front of that. Just great reaction to it. And he is just on his way. And we'll see, there it is right there. That's what caused the penalty. That slow down and back into it. So, but the Enumclaw defense brings this game back within a point. And we're going to kind of see what's going on here and see if we can't get this game tied up. So it looks like the penalty will be assessed on the kickoff and not the extra point.
I think that's what they were trying to figure out.
Yeah. Dead ball foul. Kicker for the Hornets there is Fulton Gunderson. And it's up to him to tie this game up. And he is going to do that with no problem at all. So with 5:15 left to play, the defense of Enumclaw brings them back into this game, and we're tied up here at 7-7. So the defense is keeping them in this right now because the offense is having a tough time trying to get started. So good thing for the defense that they're able to get some points on the board for me and just kind of get a restart. You know, we're essentially 0-0 now. Now the defense has got to come back in here and do it again and at least get a stop to give their team the opportunity to possibly take the lead here now.
Yeah, and for Union, I mean, the game plan needs to stay the same. I mean, so they gave him a touchdown on a turnover, but it wasn't necessarily a mistake, right? It was just a great play by the defense. Union needs to come back out, do what they do, and I have a feeling they'll be able to put more points up on the board.
Yeah, I think
tonight.
I think you're right, but that is give good credit there to the defense for the ability to be able to step in front of that play and take it away from them. And they're going to take a humongous penalty for the excessive celebration. And they're actually going to kick the ball off. Where are they actually going to put that down? Let's see here. That looks like that's about the 12-yard line. So the deep men on the return team are standing at about their own 35. Now, Enumclaw could actually have this kind of work out in their favor a little bit, especially if their kicker's pretty good. You know, if he can get that past them and get it to hit the ground and bounce and roll.
Yeah, they can.
This can turn into something pretty interesting.
I may need to dip into the rule book because it looks like it's a 27-yard penalty.
Yeah. I think there's 2 penalties tacked on to this one. Yeah, they doubled down on these penalties right here. Gunderson here is kicking this ball off from his own 12. It's going to be caught right at the 32-yard line. Breaks to the outside. Now right up the sideline is going to get drug out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. We'll see where they're going to spot that. But that was Mr. Ciafelli there. Kind of wanted to redeem himself, getting that ball picked right in front of him for the touchdown.
Yeah, and he had a decent, 35, 36-yard return.
Yeah, he sure did.
Puts Union in a great position going forward here on 1st and 10.
On Enumclaw's 29, I formation. We're going to give this one to Ciafelli. This time, nowhere to go. Russell right there to make the stop. Russell, the man of the game right here so far for defense.
He really is.
Union now lines up in a I formation. Jones is the fullback. Pitch out to Ciafelli one more time. And he is going to get stopped again. It's time to tackle his Brian Cameron McKee, number 28. We have got another penalty flag here. And they got a whole bunch of penalty flags going on out here right now. And they might want to get the young man, Anthony Russell, off the field. Looks like they got some people we got some issues down here on the sideline. The coach is Coach Rory is talking to one of his players who's actually not even suited up, because he might have been instigating some of the issues that was going on down there on the sideline that got the penalty flag thrown. Then there was a late flag on the young man Anthony Russell down there, so I'm not quite sure what he said. But he walked away from all the action, is kind of standing out there about the 10-yard line by himself, trying to make sure he's not going to be part of any more of the problem. So, that's just Russell has 2 good plays, playing some good, tough, hard football out there. Somebody didn't like it, decided they wanted to chirp about it, and, there's some emotions running high in this game. So the unsportsmanlike, the last flag is going to go against Russell, which is going to actually push them back. The 2 personal fouls kind of offset each other, so nothing was going to happen on that. And then whatever Russell said at the end is going to get the penalty, so that's going to get Union probably some good yardage and another set of downs. Roy Rosenbach's down there trying to get it all figured out. Let's see here while these officials get this all sorted out for us here.
Yeah, and that's, the extracurricular stuff is something that Coach Rosenbach doesn't put up with.
No, not at all.
He definitely has disciplined the young man who, whether he instigated it or he was the recipient of it, he gave him an earful.
Yeah, he sure did. He sure did. Well, that penalty is going to move Union down inside. Looks like just inside the 15-yard line, and they're going to bring up first down from there. The two other teams in the 4A coming out of the Greater St. Helens that are in the playoffs is Skyview, 5-4 team this year, went up to play Hazen, which is 6-3. And tomorrow, Camas, also 5-4, is going to be going against Bothell, that is a 7-2 team. So Camas is going to travel actually tomorrow to play their game. Like I said at the beginning, there are 30 games this weekend for 15 slots. The seating committee will get together on Sunday and decide how everything's going to play out and what that bracket's going to look like for the tournament to the state.
Yeah, the Enumclaw team lost to Hazen last week, 41-31.
Yeah, they sure did.
So that should be a very good football game up there tonight.
Yeah, and that loss is probably what's got them traveling.
Yeah.
Because if they had beat that, we probably would have been watching Union and Hazen down here today as opposed to Enumclaw. So they started out real good, went 6-0 before they lost a game, but they lost their last two, so kind of limped in here to the playoffs. Anthony Russell now is actually been taken out of the game. I don't know if he's been taken out of the game for the remainder of the game or he just had to come out for right now. But there's another penalty flag on the field. So we're trying to figure out what's going on now. So now we got an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on the Titans, which is going to back them up 15 yards. Tell you what, we got a lot going on down here.
You know what this reminds me of, Rodney? This reminds me of the scene in The Replacements.
Yeah, right.
They're throwing flags, they're throwing hats, they're throwing shorts, anything they can find.
Right, what's going on here? Referees trying to get this game back in control with flags. We'll see if that's going to work out for them. So backed them up to the 30, but moved the chains as well. So it's first down and 10 from the 30-yard line, and we're going to go ahead and start this game all over again. Official winds the clock. We got three receivers at the top there. Drops back, looking for Elijah Taylor, and pretty decent defensive play there, but there's going to be a late flag that comes in. I'm sure it's going to be pass interference. Travis Smith was guarding Elijah Taylor, and it looks like the penalty is going to be pass interference. He did have his hands on him when he knocked that ball down, so legit call, but also some great defense by that young man as well. So that'll bring up, so now, all said and done, they're back to the original line of scrimmage down there on the 15. So we had to watch the show first before we got the ball back to the 15-yard line. So now Titans on the 15-yard line, and we got first down and 10. 4:05 left to play in the quarter. Going to hand this one off to Jones right up the middle. Jones is not going to have anywhere to go. Forward momentum. They're going to give him like 2 yards on this play. We'll bring up 2nd and 8. Jones, the lone running back, 3 receivers up top. Looking for somewhere to go, and he is not going to have anywhere to go as he's taken down by one of the linemen there for Enumclaw. That's going to be Matthew Utu. Big lineman, not letting him get away, wraps him up real good. All right, we're ready here. Officials wind this clock one more time. Looking for the pass again, and this time it's going to be on Union, a penalty. The receiver may have left a little too soon as quick as that flag dropped out there. We'll see what's going on. And that is going to be, looks like it'll be against one of the receivers. That looks like that may have been Darien Chase out there, so that's going to back them up 5 yards. And that's going to bring up 3rd down and about 13 yards to go. Simon's going to keep it himself, looking to get there to the outside. He makes it to the edge before he steps into the end zone for the touchdown is the Union quarterback. Gets away this time, sidesteps a tackle, and just eludes another one to get right in there for about a 15-yard touchdown run. Here we go again.
It looks like Lincoln Victor, he had the option. He decided to keep it himself.
Yeah, he sure
and
did.
It was the right decision. He was able to evade a few tackles, get into the end of the end zone.
Nice blocking up there, running interference, if you will, for Elijah Taylor. Show Lincoln Victor the light and the tunnel to the touchdown for 6 points. And that is going to be a score. So with just under 3 minutes left to play in this quarter, Union gets back on top again, 14 now to 7 over Enumclaw. They were probably definitely missing Mr. Anthony Russell on that side because that's his side of the ball. And I tell you, the way the young man had been playing up to the point where he got pulled out, he didn't miss tackles.
Yeah,
he came and hit hard. So I'm not quite sure. I wasn't able to see if he's been ejected or if the coaches decided to sit him for a little while. But he is on the sideline still. He just doesn't have his helmet on. So we'll see what if he's got to wait to the second half or if this is a self-imposed punishment that the Enumclaw Hornets have put on this young man and have him sitting out the game for right now.
You know, that's the thing with these young lads. You know, we come through, it's playoff football and emotions are running high. And,
yeah, they sure are.
You know, that's a great thing. It's you know, it's something that you can really use for your advantage, but you have to keep it in check.
Yeah,
because
sure do.
It can be detrimental to your team just as well.
Kogan gets everybody set up here for the kickoff. And we have a kickoff. This is going to back him into the end zone, so actually he's going to let him run this out because he ran himself into the end zone. Looks like he wasn't quite sure what he was going to do. And Enumclaw now is going to take the ball over deep in their own territory there. As it looked like Ethan Elertson wasn't quite sure what was going on. I don't think he really planned on running that one out. He thought he was going to get called a touchback, and the officials didn't say anything, so he figured he needed to run it out.
Yeah, it looks like he caught it at about the 1 yard line. 1 yard line. His momentum carried him into the end zone.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's what the officials saw as well, which is why they didn't call it down. We're set up here. 2 running backs again in the backfield. And they're going to give this one to the big man who fumbles the ball. Trying to see right now who's, they're going to say he hit the ground already or if it was actually recovered by one of the Enumclaw linemen. They're actually going to lose some yards. Herbert's had actually got a couple of yards out of that, but where the fumble was recovered, was put him right back to the line of scrimmage. So that'll bring up 2nd and 10. This time quarterback rolls out, has a receiver open and in and out of the hands of the big receiver out there. That's number 28. It's going to be Cameron McKee. You know, situations like that, you got to go ahead and make that catch. That would have been a nice catch in open field. It would have got him some additional yards and possibly moved the chains. Now you're looking at a 3rd and long, and this is when it's tough to beat the Union defense when you're stuck at a 3rd down and long because they will pin their ears back and just come at you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When you're playing a team like Union, those catches have to be made.
Got a flag on the play. It looks like they kind of delayed on whether or not they were going to throw a flag there. Looks like Cameron McKee moved just a little early. That's going to back them up 5 more yards. So to bring up 3rd down now and 15. They had a draw play set up. Kind of showed their hand on that one, so it'd be kind of tough to kind of have to wait for a while for they go back to that play. So now Enumclaw backed up into their own end zone. McKee goes into motion. It's a nice little catch out there to Eilertson. Corner's right there to make the stop. And that's going to be Aiden Hoyt who was there to make that stop. Nice textbook tackle in the open field. Eilertson was able to get 10 out of that, but still needed 5 more for the 1st down. So once again, the punt team for Enumclaw is back on the field. It's kind of a driving one. It's going to take a nice little bounce. And it looks like it'll roll out of bounds at about the 37-yard line. The Union Titans offense back on the field. Looking to do some more damage out here. 47 seconds left to play in the 1st quarter. Three receiver set down here at the bottom. Victor drops back. Has a man wide open this time, and he is going to make the catch. And you're not going to catch Darien Chase on that one on the big touchdown pass. And we have got another penalty flag late. And we'll kind of see where that's going to come from. Official has moved that penalty flag up the field. Don't know if they're going to be excessive celebrating on these guys, but it got thrown by the white hat, so we'll kind of see what's going on here. Tell you what, that was just a streak up the sideline. Darien beat his guy. Looks like he caught him stumbling. And then he just got, 3-4 steps out in front of him. And that's an automatic touchdown when you give him that much room. You weren't going to catch him.
Yeah, and I mean, he was just able to use his speed and beat his defender. It looks like the penalty flag, the touchdown will stand. It looks like they called unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Couldn't quite hear the white hat over the band.
Here's the replay. Yeah.
And Lincoln Victor just let it fly. And, I mean, when you have that much space between the defender and Darien Chase, there's no catching Darien Chase.
No, you sure are not. You sure are not. Didn't really see that much celebrating on that one. We'll kind of find out what the penalty flag was all about. Tell you what, this is a long first quarter. We've had a lot going on.
It certainly is.
Officials playing a big role in this first quarter. Alcon here to make the kick here. See if he can push this score to 21. Snapping the kick. And that's going to be good. So Union now up by 2 touchdowns here in the first quarter. Enumclaw's offense yet to really get started. The only saving grace was the big run, the big pick 6 by their safety. I think that was their safety guy out there, Mr. Russell, Anthony Russell, who has since been taken out of the game for some extracurriculars, we'll call it. We'll see if he gets to come back into this game tonight.
Yeah, and to, talking about that pick 6 that Enumclaw had, that seemed to just really turn it up for Union.
Yeah.
After that happened, Union said, all right, we're good.
You got us.
Let's play.
You can have one. Maybe that's the one they were talking about. Because their defense has been super stingy up to this point. Enumclaw's had 2 first downs, punted the ball 4 times. Now they'll walk the penalty off against Union. And Union's going to actually kick the ball off from their 25. So it has the Enumclaw deep men standing around the 25 and 20-yard line. Nice night. Good night for football. Looks like the rain's going to hold off, at least through this game. I want to remind you guys that this is a doubleheader tonight. We will be having the the Mountain View Ballard game will come after this game as well. So make sure you stick in there with us. Ball picked up right at the 20. And Ethan is going to get a nice little stiff arm out there. That's going to get him out to about the 42-yard line. I want to remind everybody that this game is being broadcast live on channel 328, and we are on YouTube on the Evergreen channel. Make sure if you're not in the area, you get in contact with your folks and tell them to go on YouTube and stream the game as well. This is EPS Sports. I'm Rodney Lawrence and Ryan Vassbinder with me here tonight. Week 10, playoff weekend for high school football. This time we're going to makes a big tackle in the backfield, and then the ball is also fumbled as well. Union is going to get the ball back. Tell you what, the Union defense is on fire right now. Marvin Barber right there to make the stop. Just snatches this young man down by his neck. He also coughs up that football, and Union drops on it. And Union's going to take the ball over in Enumclaw territory. Barber, 5'11", 230, so a nice big guy to get right in the line right now to make that stop. And it looked like that might have been kind of a misdirection, and he just kind of got there right in the middle of that and messed that up altogether. Victor now takes the snap. He's going to drop back. Has a receiver open across the middle of the field. Makes the catch. It's going to be taken down there by Ricky Portello. That's Alex Jackson on the catch. Nice route run there by Jackson. Makes that break right in front of the safety and gets out in front of him. Safety got caught looking in the backfield a little bit and let the receiver get behind him. So first and goal now from the 8. Ciafelli and Jones in the backfield this time. Quarterback drops back, looking for the man in the corner, makes the catch. And they are going to give him the touchdown. And that is going to be Darien Chase once again. So I tell you what, he signs to go to Nebraska, and they just showcase him this following week. This ought to be making Nebraska feel real good about their decision.
Yeah, this is starting to turn into the Lincoln Victor Darien Chase show.
It sure is. And with that touchdown, that runs time out on the first quarter. After this kickoff, we'll move officially into quarter 2. So Union Titans push the lead now to 3 scores ahead here at the end of the first quarter. We're going to step aside. We'll be right back to start up the second quarter with you. This is EPS Sports. Rodney Lawrence, Ryan Vassbinder. We'll see you at quarter 2.
We are the people who dictate what happens. Most will say you can only dictate what happens in your personal life, but that's wrong. Democracy only works if you get involved, not stand by and idly watch, then complain about our leadership. That power is in our hands. So stand up and participate. Family, friends, everyone depends on it.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education?
What are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job?
Be like everybody else?
Or will you dare do something different?
Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher.
You got the skills.
The smarts? Yes, you.
You could be the teacher I never forget.
That'd be cool.
Does that corporate job even have recess?
What are you gonna make of yourself?
What are you gonna make of me?
All right, we want to welcome you guys back here to quarter 2. Union has pushed ahead 28-7 over the Enumclaw Hornets out here today. Story of the first quarter. All Union, not a whole lot of Enumclaw. Enumclaw's offense having a tough time getting started out here tonight. And I tell you what, the Union defense is the reason for that. It's not that, their Union's just smothering them right now. The only score is a defensive score for some of you guys who are just joining us. Other than that, it's been a dominating first quarter, I should say, for the Union Titans. This ball is going to get picked up at the 8. A nice little run there by Ethan. Ehlertson. Ethan's father, also a coach out there on the staff. Ethan makes it all the way to the 40. Where are they going to put him? In fact, the 42-yard line, so nice little catch right up the sideline there to give him some decent field position here. I formation. Quick pitch out there to the receiver. He's going to make it just inside of Union's side of the field. That is Ethan Eilertson on the catch. Did see a late flag come in, so we'll see what that's going to be about. Flag heavy first half so far. So that pass, that infraction is going to be against the Titans. It's going to move the ball and give them an automatic first down. Eilertson and Loop, the two outside receivers. Jacob goes in motion. Burns, they're going to hand this ball off to the big guy, Herbertson. I'm sorry about that. Herberts, I added something to his name there. Nick Herberts, number 4, big 210-pounder right there. He's going to get a nice little run out of that. It'll bring up second down. So I formation, they also have a wing back out there. That's Burns in that position. McKee goes into motion. Quick pitch out to the running back. Well, lower that shoulder and push for a couple extra yards on this. Looks like he's going to get, to the 36-yard line. And it looks like 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3 on this one. 3rd and manageable, if you will. Time they're going to give the ball to McKee. McKee's going to make it to the 30-yard line, but not past it. 35-yard line, I'm sorry about that, but not past the 35.
This brings up an interesting situation for the Hornets.
It does.
Hornets. Typically, this is 4th down territory. Teams will typically go ahead and go for it in this situation. We'll see if.
Yeah, the punt team did not show up. Here comes the quarterback. So Krantz and his OC have decided that they're going to go ahead and go for this 4th and 2. This time, shotgun with split running backs. And a great defensive stance there by Darien Chase to knock that ball down. Eilertson, the intended receiver. But there is a penalty flag on the field, and they're going to call pass interference on Darien Chase on this one. There was a lot of contact initially, and Eilertson tried to release to the inside. Darien's kind of stepped underneath that and knocked that ball down. So I'm sure the pass interference was the initial contact and not the actual act of slapping the ball out of the air, because that was great defense on Darien's part on that one.
Yeah, and I've been watching Darien Chase and Eilertson kind of go at it for the past couple plays. They're getting in each other's heads, and they're going after it over there.
Oh yeah. There's no love lost here on the field right now between these two teams. Burns goes in motion, quick pitch to the other side. Herbert puts that foot in the ground and gets up the field right now. He's going to get some nice little yards out of this play. Enumclaw sporting the USC Trojan colors out there today. They're going to give it fake rollout this time, looking for a receiver down the field. Has a man open in the end zone, and he makes the touchdown catch. And that is going to be Ethan Eilertson there for the touchdown. 20-yard catch there, pitch and catch between the quarterback and the receiver. Nice little play there. Nice setup, nice call. Play action with a rollout, and here's the replay. So a nice little play action freezes everybody and allows Eilertson to get out there in the open by himself out there in the corner for the touchdown. So nice play. Enumclaw digs a little bit more into the Union lead. And that's going to make it 28-14. Now Enumclaw has scored on both sides of the ball, defensively and offensively.
Yeah,
nice little series of downs for him with some help from some penalties.
Yeah, offensively they look good that series.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, they have finally been able. The Hornets have finally been able to move the ball downfield, which we haven't seen at all in the first quarter.
That play action, I think that was the first play action I remember seeing. It came at a right time. Union was kind of primed for it, and the defense right up to this point has been so aggressive that something like that was bound to happen to them. That play action, you just kind of saw it freeze the linebackers and everybody there for a few seconds to go ahead and allow the receiver to get out there behind the coverage and be open for the touchdown. This time, they're going to kick off from for the intended spot on the field. No flags. Gunderson here with the kickoff. And it's going to be picked up right at the 15-yard line. Darien Chase now has the ball. And he's going to get run out across the field at about the 35, 36-yard line. And Lincoln Victor and the Titan offense on the field. Three receivers down here at the bottom. Straight drop back, looking for a man open. Sees Ciafali on a screen play. Ciafali is broken into the open field. It's going to be hard to catch him. They were able to get the angle. Tried to push him out of bounds, but it didn't work. The officials, well, he did actually step on the line. Looks like the officials have him out of bounds right there at about the 8-yard line. Nice little screen play there by the Titans. Did that to Mr. Ciafali, and it was just going to be all him down that far sideline. Great blocking up front. Well, here's the replay here. He's going to come all the way across the field. And now it's just a sprint. Oh, wait a minute. They said he did not go out of bounds. I didn't see he went out of bounds on the instant replay, so they gave him the touchdown. There's the extra point. And they've pushed this back out to 3 scores, 35-14. 8:16 left to play in the game. Just not even back and forth. I mean, every time Enumclaw feels like they maybe got a handle on this, Union does something like that. And we call, every time we've done a Union game, we've talked about it, just the different guys they can go to. You know what I'm saying?
And there's still guys tonight that we haven't even called that are part of their offense.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
you know,
true.
and And you take a look back at that last touchdown, Jojo Ciafali. I mean, typically he's such a power runner. A power runner, and they use him in shorter down situations. You rarely get to see him break into the open field like that. And that time it was a treat to be able to see his speed.
Yeah.
Once he hits
just
that
wide
high
open
gear.
like that. They've moved him around a lot this season, I should say. I mean, he's been playing on the varsity since his sophomore year. Got hurt his sophomore year, and I think it was a ACL injury. Came back his junior year, had a great junior year, pretty much carried the load as the running back. And then when Nile Jones came over this year, they were able to put him in more athletic roles. I mean, they've got him in slots. They got him in the backfield with 2 running backs. They put him in motion. They kind of put him all over the field just to give him opportunities to get the ball in space. Alcon now getting ready to set up. Looks like the wind's blowing pretty good down there on the field, so looks like we're going to have somebody hold it for him. It's Lamont Lane, number 14, doing the holding. And this time, this one is going to make it into the end zone, and they're going to go ahead and take this on the 20. So Enumclaw is going to try to do it again. See if their offense can put together another long drive, sustain, stay on the field, give that defense an opportunity to get a breather, and most importantly, keep Union's offense off the football field. Key goes into motion. Got a rollout here. They've got a throwback screen as well. Herbert's right there in the open field. Nice little step back move there. And he's going to make it all the way into Union territory before he gets run out of bounds. Nice play call there. Nice setup screen. Go back, roll out to the far side, throw it back to the other side of the field where nobody is, and then you just got that big man running in the open field.
Yeah, at 6 foot 210, Herbert's is a good sized guy.
Yeah, he sure is. Here's the replay. Design rollout now just kind of turns back around and slings it out here to the far side. It's going to show some good feet right here. Another carry there for the big man, Herbert's. He's going to get down to the 46-yard line before he stopped. I want to welcome everybody from up north, the Enumclaw area, who were able to tune in and check us out on the stream. This is EPS Sports, Evergreen Public School System down here. McKee, the ball runner on that play. Nice little rocket tackle. Michael Rogers, number 16 for the Titans, comes in right now and makes the stop and creates actually a nice loss coming all the way from the safety position. Here's the replay. McKee looks like just ready to go get something taken care of there, and Rogers is right there as he tries to get that edge to make the tackle. Our man in motion. I think they were trying to get that ball out there to Caden Loop. Wasn't able to do it. It's going to bring up 4th down and 7. Yeah, that's a little too much. I'm going to go ahead and kick that off and kind of pin him back and just give him a whole lot of field to have to deal with. And hopefully that's going to be enough for him.
Yeah, and I think that's the right move at this point. Hopefully you can hold Union to a 3 and out, which is going to be difficult to do, but it's possible.
Yeah, it sure is.
You get the ball back, back to where you put it off.
So another fair catch called here. Looks like that's going to be on about the 15-yard line. To remind everybody that this is a doubleheader, and we will be showing the Mountain View Ballard game tonight. So make sure you come back in and hang out and check that game out with us tonight. Ought to be a good game this evening. That will be for the 3A. This one for Darien Chase again. We've got another penalty flag. It's going to be pass interference. Jackson McCann, the defender on that play. They're going to move that and give the Titans an automatic first down here. A lot of pass interference calls tonight. A lot of flags tonight. Whole lot of flags tonight.
There certainly has been, and I think some of that is just the emotions of it being a playoff game. There's a lot of emotion behind this Union team, and anytime you're an underdog and you travel and you come down, you've got those emotions, and it just leads to poor decisions.
Yeah, it sure does. Lincoln drops back looking for a receiver. He's got Darien Chase open again in the middle of the field. This time he is unable to hold on to the ball, or that would have been another 6 points on the board for the Titans, because he had gotten behind him. McCann has had the not-so-fun responsibility of handling Darien Chase tonight. Here's that instant replay, and he had him beat by a couple of yards again. Just unable to bring that one in.
Yeah, and Enumclaw is really going to have to find some way to control Darien Chase.
They sure are. Chase steps out. Alec Jackson comes into the game now for Darien Chase. Quarterback looking to get that ball. It's almost picked off in and out of the hands of the defender, and Ciafelli able to catch that on the tip. Great concentration there by JoJo Ciafelli, able to get that ball as it falls out of the hands of the defender. That should have been a pick there by number 51 of Enumclaw, Wyatt Ward. And here's that replay. Yeah, that should have been a pick. Definitely should have been a pick. Missed opportunity for the Enumclaw Hornets. Screen play once again to Ciafelli. He's going to get back to the outside. Now it's a foot race all the way down. He is going to get run out of bounds at about the 20. But we've got a penalty flag right there on the 50-yard line. And another penalty flag down here at the bottom. And by the way, Enumclaw's pleading their case down there. It might be another unsportsmanlike conduct call. We'll see what's going on. That's McCann.
And the flag
pleading his case down there.
And the flag up here at the 50 may be a block in the back.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And while the officials sort this out, something to keep an eye on is we want to keep an eye on Lincoln Victor on that. Here's the replay.
Not quite sure where I saw it.
Yeah, I didn't see much either. See what the white hat says.
So we got a block in the back. We got a hold. Unsportsmanlike conduct on the other side. So, tell you what, there's so many flags being thrown on every play. How many times have penalty flags just knocked each other out because they got there's flags all over the field out there.
Yeah. But what I was saying is we want to keep an eye on Lincoln Victor because when he took that sack, when he almost threw that interception, he took a hit and his knee buckled in a weird way. And so he came up slightly limping, so we'll just have to see if that, keep an eye on that as the game progresses.
Official over there explaining, I'm sure, to the Enumclaw staff why that flag was thrown for unsportsmanlike conduct. One of the officials needs to go back there and pick that one up because it's left on the field right now.
Let me just leave it there for the next play.
Right. Exactly. So the big run by CFLE gets called back, but they do end up getting the first down out of it because of the unsportsmanlike conduct call on McCann of the Hornets. So all right, so 5:23 and counting. Receiver resets up into formation, drops back. Another one out has Chase on an island. Chase is going to be able to bring this one in.
I will tell you.
Nice little hand war there at the beginning, and Chase was just able to kind of just get him out of the way and step down in front of that one and bring it in.
I will tell you, Jackson McCann did everything he possibly could to break that pass up,
yeah,
and he still got beat.
He
is having a rough night over there.
He is. Well, I tell you what, he's playing against a pretty good athlete over there in Darien Chase. Oh, and this time that's going to give Cameron McKee gets in there right now for the sack. I do believe this is the most that the quarterback here for the Titans has been sacked. They're all over him this time, and he doesn't really get away from these guys. Here's that instant replay. See if we can see, yeah. Darien Chase is just a ball hawk. I mean, he is going to go get the ball and catch it at all over the place. He just takes the ball out of the air. He really, for the most part, he doesn't wait for the ball to come to him. He just takes it out of the air. Trips on the far side. Lincoln drops back again. They've got Darien Chase right in the middle of the field. Jackson McCann right there to make the stop once the catch is made. But it does look like Coach Rosenbach and the offense have decided that Jackson McCann is going to be their man tonight. And they're going to definitely take advantage of that matchup. He drops back again. There's McKee after him one more time. This time he's able to get that ball out, and he is not able to keep that one this time. Intended receiver, not surprising, Darien Chase. Standing back there with his heels on the back of the end zone there. We got another flag on the play. Holding on the offense. And that's going to back them up to, it looks like, the 21-yard line. So first down and goal from the 21. Three minutes, 40 seconds left to play in the first half. Union 35-14. We're at McKenzie Stadium in Vancouver, Washington. Flushed out of the pocket again. This time he's able to get that ball off to Ciafelli. And he is going to get down inside the 10, down to about the 9 before he gets pulled down. Tackler on that play is Ricky Portello. Got the Mountain Division of North Puget Sound League going against the Greater St. Helens League here today. No team in the GSHL in 4A football has lost in Week 10 since 2013. So Enumclaw comes down here playing against some pretty steep odds.
Yeah, and that's an impressive stat.
Yeah, it sure is.
It really is.
We got another penalty on Union, so that's going to back him up once again. You know, as good as Union has been all year, and like we said, just about every poll that counts right now has them as the number one team. Looks like it's just probably one that doesn't, and they have Mount Si ahead of them. The one thing that Coach Rosenbach has to be most disturbed about is all the penalties that are taken that happen. You know, we've watched a lot of Union games, and that's the one thing that they've been consistent with is holding calls get called a lot on them.
Yeah, they certainly do, and that's one thing that they have to shore up. You know, I'm sure it just drives the coaching staff absolutely nuts.
Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. I can attest to that being a coach at one time myself, a big play, and you get that taken back. That last play there, it looks like Darien Chase and Lincoln Victor had their wires crossed. Chase went inside on a post. Lincoln thought he was going to cut that back to the outside on a flag route and wasn't able to get back out there to the ball once Lincoln had let it go. McCain lined up on Darien Chase again. Ciafelli now moves to the outside receiver there at the top of the screen. Travis Smith out there guarding him. This time he brings that back in for another screen. And Ciafelli is going to try to hurdle that last tackler, but he's not going to be able to make it. Nice downfield blocking there by one of the linemen for the Titans to allow Ciafelli to get open to make those extra yards. So they're going to bring up fourth down and goal now from inside the 10. High snap. This time Lincoln's going to go ahead and keep this one himself, and he's going to break into the end zone. Nice little footwork there to dodge a couple of tacklers there. Potential disaster on the high snap, but he is able to bring that in and just make great moves there to get himself into the end zone. So 2:14 left to play in this half. Union has already put 41, possibly 42 points on the scoreboard in just one half of football.
Yeah, it really shows how good of a football team this Union Titans team is.
Yeah, it does. Even with all the penalties, and they've still managed to get 42 points on the board before the end of the first half.
Here's the replay of the touchdown. Lincoln Victor here, he takes a bad snap, and he's able to break that first tackle in the backfield. And he had some great blocking, but, we've talked about it in prior broadcasts, the difference between, good players and great players.
Yeah.
And having that vision of being able to find lanes.
Mm-hmm.
And, Lincoln Victor definitely did that in that situation.
He sure did. He sure did. Those kind of guys who are good at cutbacks, you can't over-pursue them because they'll make you look silly if you do. They'll cut right back underneath you. You got to make sure you got that right angle when you're coming at them. So if they step back, they step back into you instead of stepping back and being right under you right now. And then all you're left with is an arm tackle.
Yeah.
Enumclaw came in here with some, they had some nice guys, some nice pieces on the board here, with Burns and Elertson and Herbert. I mean, they had some pretty impressive numbers for the season. And you just kind of were hoping that those guys were going to be able to step up and contribute just a little bit more than they have been up to this point. We've got the kickoff. This time this one's going to bounce. They're going to pick it up right at about the 12. That's going to be Jacob Burns who's going to get that ball back to, it looks like, the 35-yard line. Let's kind of talk about this Union defense. I mean, the type of things that they've done this year, they've only allowed 29 points in their last 4 league games. So the defense has gotten better as the year has gone by. We've got a man open right here, and this time that is going to be a great catch there by Jacob Burns. He is able to one-hand that and step there right in front of the defender and pull that in. Aiden Hoyt was a defender on that play. Great catch by Burns, who kind of brought that in. Loop and Burns lined up on the far side. We got Elertson down here at the bottom. They're looking for Elertson right now, and Elertson's going to get to the 30-yard line before he goes out of bounds. That'll stop the clock at 1:38. Here's that replay on the last one. And just a pump. And this time he's going to go, and it almost looked like the ball's going to be intercepted, and he one-hands that and brings that in to himself. It's a great little athletic catch. A rollout now. McCain is going to catch that ball, and he's going to get hit right as soon as he makes the catch. Like they'll give him 2 yards on that play and bring up 3rd down. Clock stopped at minute 22. Enumclaw is going to take a timeout, desperately wanting to get a score on the board. At least one more before they go into halftime here. And just kind of back to that defense. I mean, they have been on point. Everybody who's been in the game has made big plays. You kind of hear from different pieces. We kind of talk about, we give Union's offense a whole bunch of credit. We talk about Union's offense and all the pieces that they have on offense and all the guys they have on offense. But they've got that same type of skill set on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, there's so many different guys doing things, when they need to be done. For example, Marvin Barber, who comes in and makes that great big huge stop there in the first quarter that kind of turns the game around and allows Union to push the score out to 3 touchdowns. So, everybody contributes when they need to contribute to kind of keep everything moving forward for this program. Drop back. He's going to get flushed out of the pocket. This time he's going to keep this one himself. He'll get the first down and just go ahead and slide in. That'll stop the clock at 1:16 until the chains are set. This time, empty backfield. Kratz tried to get that ball out there to Burns and is not able to bring that one in. That'll bring up 2nd and 1, or second and 10, I'm sorry. And clock stopped at 1:07.
Yeah, you speak about Union's defense, and that was another great play.
Yeah.
I mean, Darien Chase comes in a little late, but he's able to get his hand on the ball and tip it away for an incomplete pass.
Once again, this time he's going to let it go. And, intended receiver. It looks like, we'll see if we can't get a number for you. Yeah, that was Jacob Burns, who tried to one-hand catch that one again out there, not able to bring that one in. Kind of a flood route to that side. They also had Luke, who broke off on a 12-yard bench route, kind of create some space between the corner and the safety back there. Krantz unable to make the connection because Burns was open in the end zone. Another drop back. This time he's going to get flushed out. He's looking down the field. This time he's going to let this one go. That's going to bring up 4th down. You want to be careful, real careful here, because 52 seconds is a lot of time for the Union Titans, the way they've been playing so far tonight.
It is, and they still have 3 timeouts.
Yeah.
So you definitely don't want to give the ball up.
No, not at all. Empty backfield once again. Drops back. Looking downfield. Lets this one go this time. Jacob again. And overthrows him this time. And Enumclaw is going to turn the ball over on downs, giving 45 seconds for the Titan offense.
It's a lot of time.
It is. Just hope for Enumclaw's sake it's not too much time.
Lincoln Victor in the shotgun position. So we got a spread offense. He drops back. He finds Darien Chase on the slant through the middle. Darien Chase is going to go ahead and pick up a first down. Ball's going to be spotted on the 36-yard line. That's going to move the chains and stop the clock till the chains are set. You decided to run trips down at the bottom of the screen. There's a flag on the play. It looks like it's going to be a false start penalty on the Union. Yeah, on the Union Titans, so that's going to back them up 5 yards. It's going to make it 1st and 15 with 30 seconds left to play here in the first half. So the clock is started. Lincoln Victor's getting the play from the sideline. Trips down at the bottom. Hands the ball off to Isaiah Jones. Looks like he's going to pick up about 3. They call a timeout. The clock stopped with 12 seconds left. So Union calls a timeout, the first of the half, with 12 seconds remaining. They're up 42-14 here in the first half. You know, and we've watched a lot of Union football games this year, and something that Coach Rory Rosenbach, you know, it doesn't matter how much time is left on the clock. There's always enough time to get another score, right? Get another touchdown, and you know, he never goes into the half thinking he's got a big enough lead. And so it's always fun to watch this Union offense work. Like we're seeing Olajuwon Taylor check into the game for the first time tonight. He's a name we've usually called, you know, numerous times already. This is going to be his first appearance. You said it was a slot receiver up at the top of your screen. They find Olajuwon Taylor through the middle. And he's going to get enough for the first down. Looks like they mark him down at the 48-yard line with 4 seconds remaining. So we'll see what Union decides to do, whether they take a shot at the end zone or they just go ahead and kneel out the half. Looks like they called the timeout, so they're probably going to go ahead and drop another play here. So with 4 seconds remaining in this first half, this will likely be the last play that we see before we go into halftime. Once again, we want to go ahead and thank everybody who's tuned in, watching the stream on YouTube, and who's tuned in to channel 328 on Comcast. Just a reminder, this is the first of our doubleheader tonight. The next game will start at 7:30 here at McKenzie Stadium. So Lincoln Victor is going to take the snap here in a shotgun formation. He drops back. He's looking deep. He finds Darien Chase wide open. Darien Chase was able to make the catch, but he's brought down at the 18-yard line. That's going to go ahead and end the half. He almost broke through to get another 6 points at the end of the half there as time expired. We're going to end the first half. Union 42, Enumclaw 14. We're going to go ahead and take it down to Matt for a halftime show.
Hello, everybody. I'm Matt Griffin, the executive producer of EPS Sports. We want to thank our viewers here in Clark County watching on Comcast 28 and 328, and folks from all around the area, including up north, watching on our YouTube live channel. Joined now by Rodney Lawrence. As we take a look at some of the first half highlights, Rodney, let's talk about how the game has progressed so far. Of course, it's all Union. They're leading 42-14.
Yeah, they are. And I mean, here's one of the big plays here, and this is the
that was the first touchdown.
That big catch to Darien Chase. It's kind of been his show. It's kind of been his night. I mean, it kind of feels like, it's all over the area down here that he's going to Nebraska.
Yep.
And then, I guess they're giving him some highlight reel for his coaches.
And we talked about this one. That was that pick that led to the first Enumclaw touchdown.
Yeah, it
and
sure
we thought
was.
we'd had a more interesting game, but then Union just kind of running away with it.
Yeah,
right
after that, defensively, we thought maybe, and then they just keep winning. They just keep doing things. It's between Darien Chase and Joseph Ciafelli. It's just kind of hard to kind of keep these guys pinned down. We talked about it. Here's another big catch, a big highlight here for Darien Chase once again. I mean, what are you going to say? This young man is a highlight reel in and itself.
Well, let's talk some more about him because he's making plays on offense and defense.
Yeah, both sides of the ball.
Crazy tackles. Shutting down Enumclaw's offense.
Mm-hmm.
How far does Union go into the
You know,
playoffs?
the way they're playing right now, it's kind of hard not to see them in the championship game. You know, the only thing that I would think that ultimately would get in their way, you know, the seeding is going to happen Sunday. As they get further into this, they're going to start playing teams that are a lot better. The penalties that seem to have plagued them all year long will probably be my only concern for them for winning the championship. Is they get a lot of penalties called on them, a lot of holding calls.
Well, and we also talked about how that first quarter was a very long quarter, probably the longest quarter we've had all broadcast season. And you know, they were getting real chippy on both sides.
Yeah, they were.
Both sides of the field. One player sent off for the game. How does Coach Rosenbach dial that back in?
Well, I mean, the fact that they're winning now, he can just always say, you know, it's time to act like you've been here before, right? And just come in here and it's another day at the office. Let's go out here and do what we do. We came out here, you know, we're showing that we've got better guys on the field than they do right now. And let's just get through this game, not get anybody hurt, not get anybody kicked out, because if you get kicked out of this one, you can't play in the next one.
That's
so
right.
You got to make sure that everybody is just kind of dialed in. And I'm sure that's a conversation that he's having in the locker room. You know, one of the fouls that they did get called against him was one of the guys who weren't even suited up mouthing off onto the field. They got one of their penalty calls. So it's just about just staying disciplined and keeping the kids' heads in the right spot.
You got to act like the young men you are.
Right, yes, exactly.
All right,
exactly.
so we'll have you back
yes.
in the next game, 7:30. That will be Ballard versus Mountain View, and, of course, back up in the booth for second half action. Thank you so much,
we'll see you then.
All right. For those of you who haven't seen an EPS Sports broadcast before, it's brought to you in part by video production students and teachers from across our district. The same kind of broadcast happens in Vancouver Public Schools and Battleground Public Schools here in the Clark County area. We recently had KPTV over to Skyview High School in Vancouver to show you how we get programs like this on the air.
Well, the magic of TV really is truly done behind the scenes. It's the people in the back that are the real MVPs. The viewers in Clark County, the real winners, the broadcast crews delivering football, volleyball, soccer, track, hoops, you name it, they've got it. We go tag team with Vancouver Public Schools Game Time and Evergreen Public Schools Sports Broadcasting in tonight's High School Spotlight. This is reality TV. Student-driven, behind the lens and behind the switcher.
Something usually goes wrong right at the very beginning in the studio.
That's TV.
The TV stars beyond the Friday night lights are the man hours logged after school by the crews for VPS Game Time and Evergreen Sports. We're both ready for prime time.
People always ask, like, why you keep doing this when you could just go home and hang out. To me, this is kind of hanging out because it's that much fun.
VPS and EPS are instructed by former local television news producers Nick Voll and Matt Griffin.
As somebody who's worked in news, you know, I've seen what a good production looks like, what a professional production looks like, and that's what these kids are getting.
We're trying to give them a real-life job experience that they could take into any type of video field, broadcasting field.
The student volunteers are in video production courses during the school day before the broadcast day begins. Comcast Cable Channel 328, as well as their respective live feeds on Facebook and YouTube.
I don't really see it as extra work. It's really fun to me, and getting to do this after a long school day is sometimes hard because I can get pretty tired, but overall, it's pretty engaging.
And not all jobs are created equal.
I actually ran the instant replay machine, which everyone says is the hardest job, which it is.
Both broadcasts deliver the images differently. VPS streams over a fiber network to a control room a few miles away. EPS completely on scene, with a production truck at the stadium or gym where the broadcast is originating from.
One of the things that we appreciate is that our school districts actually support this sort of thing, that they don't view it as some sort of, you know, extra thing. It's something that actually benefits our community, from the folks at home watching to the kids on the court or the field and the kids behind the camera. It's something that they value, and we appreciate that.
And the programs have churned out some professionals in the industry, like Timber's Emmy Award-winning director, Patrick Brown.
This gives an opportunity to just create that school spirit, you know, showcase students doing positive things in a way where they can learn real-life job skills.
And one thing we didn't mention in that story is just how much hard work these students put into our broadcast. These students went to school today for roughly 8 hours, and then they came out here, arriving at about 3:30 or 4 o'clock, and they will be with us helping put these broadcasts on the air tonight, our doubleheaders, and then by the time we pack up the truck, that's another 8 hours. So these students are essentially working a 16-hour day, and I can't thank them enough for helping us put on these broadcasts for you folks at home. You can hear in the background, and you've seen a couple shots of them during our broadcast, the Titan Band. Some of these students are playing on brand new instruments thanks to voters here in Clark County who recently approved the Envision Evergreen facilities bond that will reshape our schools for decades to come. One of the things that's being purchased with money provided in that bond is new instruments for students around the district. We recently visited a couple of the schools that got their brand new instruments.
It's a moment students at Evergreen High School have been waiting for. They're helping unpack dozens of new instruments purchased with the help of voters who approved this year's Envision Evergreen facilities bond.
That looks like a bass clarinet. What do you play, Nick? A bass clarinet. There you go.
Through a 3-year process, funds from the bond will be used to purchase $800,000 worth of new instruments for schools across the district. The scene at Evergreen also played out at Pacific Middle School, where band director Chris Sigmund anxiously awaited the delivery by our warehouse staff.
This is a French horn. Our French horns are very old, from like the, I don't know, mid-'80s. So we're very excited to get these new instruments. Our baritones, we have some baritones that were from when the school opened in 1981, and they have holes in them. These things are going to replace those, so we're really excited. Some kid's going to be very lucky to play this guy.
Back inside the school, he showed us the kind of aging, banged-up instruments these new ones will replace.
Literally taped up, okay? And these guys here are getting replaced because of this bond. So we're very excited. Very excited. Oh yeah. A beautiful rose gold lead pipe. These things are going to last for years to come. We have nice stands for these so they don't get dented. When the kids play them, they sit inside the stands. These are going to sound great.
Fine and Performing Arts Director Corinne Ormson says the new instruments will also allow students to get more use out of the older instruments that are in better shape.
These old instruments that have been replaced, now those can be checked out by kids and taken home to practice, things like that.
I'm so excited. We have kids can use them. I'm so excited. We can really use all these. I'm thrilled.
Corinne adds that the support of voters who passed the Envision Evergreen bond is helping the district provide a more enriching school experience.
So we're able to provide the same kind of experience at all of our schools across the district. So we're able to provide more equity and then access to more students. So the more instruments we have, the more students we can serve. The arts are so important to educating the whole child and really an integral part of the education. The students learn creativity and teamwork and how to work through difficulty and challenge and through the arts classes. And so this support really helps our students be able to have the best education they can.
And we want to say thank you once again to voters here in Clark County who made the Envision Evergreen Facilities Bond a reality and getting those new instruments into the hands of our music students here across the district. Whenever there's a Union Titans home game, the concession stand is working overtime. The concession's run by our district food service providers, Chartwell's. Chartwell's recently paid a visit to Crestline Elementary School to give some students there an experience like they've never had before.
The library at Crestline Elementary School has been transformed into a fine dining restaurant, courtesy of Evergreen Public Schools food service provider, Chartwell's. Chartwell's resident district manager explains the concept behind At Your Service.
So At Your Service is a program designed to reward the students for a job well done in the school. and also teach the kids etiquettes. We invite adults to join the students so they can be like mentors to these students and give them some ideas about careers and encourage them to stay in school and do well in school.
Students and distinguished guests, including our superintendent and our school board president, dined on a 4-course meal.
So this is a French-style string bean, actually, and it's just lightly seasoned, pan-seared chicken with the lemon sauce with using the juices, and then the potatoes is the mashed potatoes, and you mix in a little egg to whip it up nice and some seasonings, and then you pipe it out. Makes it nice and fancy.
The students receive a short table etiquette class before the meal, and some admit being a little nervous.
I like the fancy part of it. I was through kind of also nervous because when I can barely pick up the cup, my arm was shaking.
You can tell that they're really excited. I heard one little boy say he was going to take his etiquette sheet home and put it on his wall. So, just some special attention and a really nice opportunity that a lot of our kids don't get.
So how did you guys do that? And what fine dining experience isn't made more special with a little music? Vancouver dermatologist and violinist Bashir Beatty said he was happy to clear his schedule when he was asked to share music for the event.
I feel it uplifts me, my spirit, because I enjoy doing something that I think makes this experience more special and memorable, hopefully, for the participants, for the children. Things like this, knowing from my own childhood, something like this would stick in my mind as a positive experience. So I feel great being a part of this and being allowed to do my part for this.
And that's what this is all about, teaching students to be of service to others and to show how important students and their schools are to our community.
Confucius once said that you choose a profession you love and you'll never have to work a day in your life. So it's really, I enjoy doing these kind of things. I want the students to tell their grandchildren about this experience and why they love their school, why they love their principal, why they love their lunch lady. So that's exactly why I do it, and that's why I feel so rewarded doing it.
Whether it's volunteering to read to elementary school students, or preparing food for our summer meals program, or being a lunch buddy, or making sure our concerts and sporting events are safe for students and visitors, or volunteering to teach art discovery classes, there are countless volunteer opportunities in Evergreen Public Schools.
I think most people value our kids as being our future, and so we need to help keep those kids going.
And signing up to be a volunteer is easy. Just go to our website, evergreenps.org/community partnerships. Click on the link to download a volunteer application, fill out just a few forms, and submit them. Once you've cleared the simple background check, you'll be ready to make a difference. This art discovery volunteer sums it up with a quote from a famous Dr. Seuss book.
It makes you feel good to volunteer. It's fun to help the kids. It's fun to get to know the kids. I think kind of like the one slur in the Lorax said, unless someone like you helps a whole awful lot, nothing's going to get better. It's not. So you need to help in order for things to get better. And I think that volunteering is definitely one way that you can help.
Make a difference. Become an Evergreen Public Schools volunteer.
We are the people who dictate what happens. Most will say you can only dictate what happens in your personal life, but that's wrong. Democracy only works if you get involved, not stand by and idly watch, then complain about our leadership. That power is in our hands. So stand up and participate. Family, friends, everyone depends on it.
And then from this angle, it all makes a star.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore.
Show up and
frustration, a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy. And giving up, impossible.
And then we're going to turn the lights and everybody look up.
I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought.
Find me one.
What's your reaction?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And unconventional methods
Okay, what else?
common.
This is their world.
Nothing. And then they die. Go ahead, go, go, go.
I'm a teacher. I make more.
We want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. From all the way up north to here in Clark County, thank you for watching. We have second half action coming up in just a second. The Enumclaw Hornets facing the Union Titans.
All right, hey, we want to welcome you guys back here to McKenzie Stadium down here in Vancouver, Washington. Union Titans, 42. Enumclaw Hornets, 14. Very long half of football. I think we played almost, as far as time-wise, a full game in the first half here with clock stoppage and penalties and things of that nature all through the first half of this game. Kickoff, believe it or not, did start at 4:30. And it is 6:28, and we're just now starting the second half. So very, very long first half. Just want to let everybody know who was watching the game with us earlier. The young man, number 20 for Enumclaw Hornets, Anthony Russell, has been ejected for the entire game for unsportsmanlike conduct. So we won't be seeing that young man at all tonight, unfortunately, as we start this game off on the third quarter. Ball picked up there on the 2-yard line. Going to get it out to the 25 and is going to get run out of bounds at about the 28-yard line. And there has been no love lost between these two football teams in the first half of play. We've had some jaw-jacking, some chipping, some extra hits, and which has caused, which was one of the reasons why that game ran so long in the first half play. Hopefully, both coaches got their kids settled down in the locker room, and we can get out here and play a nice, clean, hard-hitting, always hard-hitting because this is football, but clean, hard-hitting football game here for the second half. This is the EPS Sports. Rod Lawrence, Ryan Vassbinder, and this is Big Playoffs on our way to the Dome. Union now, 3 receivers on the top. Lincoln Victor, the quarterback, drops back, looking for somebody. He decides he's going to take off himself. Great open field tackle there. That's going to be McKee, who brings Lincoln Victor down. And I must say, out of all the games that we've watched, the open field tackling of the Enumclaw Hornets, they have been able to make stops better than we've seen most people against this team in the open field.
Yeah, they certainly have. I've been really impressed by their linebackers and defensive backs making those open field tackles.
Yeah, they're pretty good at that. And they're going to get this ball off to Niall Jones. Jones is going to make it almost to the 35-yard line. It's going to bring up third down. I'll credit Niall Jones for 3 yards on that carry. Elijah Juan Taylor in the game, lined up down there at the bottom. Victor is going to roll out to the far side, looking for a man. Darien Chase, the intended receiver, tries to climb the ladder, but not able to bring that one down. Right, great defensive stance there by McCann, who has pretty much had a tough night, having to have the full responsibility of guarding Darien Chase.
He certainly has, and this is Enumclaw comes out and Looks like they got a 3 and out.
Yeah,
which
they
we
sure
haven't
did.
seen yet.
Well, we sure haven't, so this is definitely a good thing. Receiver standing at about the 30. He's going to push all the way back. McCann is now going to fair catch this and take it at the 25.
That was a good punt there.
So Kellen Krantz now brings the Enumclaw Hornets out. We kind of talked about what Kellen had been able to do all year long, struggling tonight trying to get some completed passes out there. The offense has kind of sputtered along all night tonight. One offensive score. They have 14 points. The other one was a pick 6 early in the first quarter. Going to send a man in motion. This time with a nice little counter. And looks like the ball's going to be fumbled, and Union's going to come up with it. And with that big fumble there by Enumclaw, Herbert's unable to hold on to the ball through the tackle all the way down to the ground, and that's going to be a big turnover. That we just kind of talked about how the offense, the Enumclaw defense was able to get that 3 and out at the start of the third quarter just to turn the ball over and give it back to them in an even better field position than they had when they started. So first down and 10 now inside the 25-yard line. Darien Chase lined up out there on the far side of the field. Conversation all night has been him against Jackson McCann. Ciafelli and Jones in the backfield. Drops back, and they're going at Chase again. And Chase is able to bring this one down again for another touchdown for Darien Chase.
Somebody needs to remind him that he already committed to a college. He doesn't need to add to his highlight reel.
Right. I think they're just giving this young man a highlight reel. Just, put some more film in the can. Dude, you got the job, man. You got the job. Great job there. Great. Just all you got to do is put it close to him. He's going to go get it.
Yeah, he's had a great game tonight. He's made great catches.
Yeah, he sure has.
He's
He's
an all-around athlete.
He sure is. Now that's going to push it to 48. That one's going to get blocked, so the score will stay at 48 points. No sunlight there for the special teams of Enumclaw, who were able to get in there and keep him from getting the extra point. You just kind of think about Enumclaw and what they did to actually get themselves here, the schedule that they played. These guys went 6-0 before they lost the game, so they came through here guns a-blazing, thinking that they were going to be. They ended up with a 7-2 record, which is nothing to sneeze at, And we looked at some of the stats that these guys were able to accomplish throughout the year. We talked about the running back, Herbert's, who rushed for over 1,000. Both receivers, with catching, well over 25 passes apiece caught, and collectively, 800 yards. So you kind of feel like you come into a game like this, and you're going to do pretty well. You're going to stand in there. You kind of feel like we got 3 guys out there that are notable offensively. Very impressed with the way they open field tackles. So that definitely, I'm sure, had a lot to do with their wins, is they just don't miss tackles for the most part. Probably caught Union a little bit off guard at how well they've been tackling in that first half. So it's just kind of tough that the score ultimately ended up what it is, because you kind of feel like these guys, on paper, were going to bring a better game tonight. All right, and we have the kickoff. Fielded at the 6. And he will make it just to the 20, possibly. Looks like they're going to give it to him right at the 20-yard line, so it'll be first down and 10 from the 20.
Yeah, and going back to Enumclaw's schedule, I mean, their 2 losses came from Hazen and Beamer High School,
right?
Which, I mean, those are both playoff teams.
Yeah, and Beamer's a nice team. Hazen's playing tonight against Skyview.
Yeah, so it's a tough schedule up there, just like it can be down here at times. And this is a good football team.
Yeah.
The score just isn't really showing it.
No, not at all. Not at all. Playing your alma mater out there, Skyview. I'm sure you're interested in that one.
Certainly am. Roll Storm.
There you go. Intended receiver on that looks like it possibly was Jacob Burns. Had 2 receivers in the area. Caden Loop also out there in the immediate area. That'll bring second and 10. Two running backs now to the far side. This is a designed rollout. Loop had found himself open behind the receivers. That is definitely what you would call a flood route. They had 3 receivers in the same area 5 yards apart. They had an out, a bench route, and then a fly. Just kind of flood the area and have too many, and unfortunately Krantz wasn't able to see that Loop had broken out behind the safety and was wide open, streaking down the middle of the field. Slots again, and they're going to roll. This time, Krantz picks up a couple of blocks. He's going to end up throwing this one away. Almost got it picked. But unable to bring that ball in was Justin Chen. Chen, a junior cornerback. So that's going to be a 3 and out there for Enumclaw. Union's set up to get the ball back in very good field position. The punter for Enumclaw has actually been pretty good at keeping the ball out of the hands of Darien Chase, which is dangerous, and just backing him up. And this is a very good punt that's going to take a real good bounce down inside the 20. So the punt game for Enumclaw has definitely been something to speak about. Travis Smith, the punter, doing a great job of playing the field position game, helping his defense out at least a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that was a 62-yard punt.
Yeah, it sure was. Tobias Merriweather in the game now, lined up there on the numbers. Looks like Darien Chase is now staying on the sidelines. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see that young man for the rest of the game. Sends a man in motion. That's going to be Vallejo, makes a nice little move, then a stiff arm. Tell you what, these guys are throwing blows at each other down here at the sidelines. They're playing some tough little football here. Nice run there. It gets 9 out of that one to bring up second down.
Things are definitely still tense.
Yeah, they are. Most definitely. Most definitely. Alec Jackson also in the game. He's a receiver on the far side. Ciafelli and Jones still in the game. This one they're going to give to Ciafelli, and he is going to get run out of bounds. Well, I should say drag out of bounds by his shirt. Ricky Patello saves the touchdown on that one. Big run. That does get him to the 45 and down there And just, I mean, you just kind of watch Ciafelli run the ball and how he's able to just get his body and make himself skinny when he needs to just get himself into an open area and then just burst through the hole. Split backs. Jones and Ciafelli in the backfield. Lincoln Victor, senior quarterback. Lincoln now is going to roll out. Looking for a man. He lets this one go. Kind of sends his receiver back up the field. Had two in the area.
I think the ball was caught, but it was caught out of bounds.
Caught out of bounds. Yeah, I saw that. He kind of waved off Alec Jackson to kind of release up the field. But then also had Tyler Summers streaking across the field from the far side. They ended up about 5 yards apart from each other. This time they're going to hand this one off to Jones. Jones is going to burst through, get down to the 35 before he stopped. That's another weapon for the Union Titans that we haven't heard a lot from. Actually, in the last couple of games, he's kind of laid kind of dormant, these last couple of games. But, he's made big plays when they needed a first down in a big situation. They gave it to him. He got it, and it is just those type of things. There's just so much talent on this team that not every night it has to be everybody. Jones is going to take it again. Nice little stiff arm. He's going to get down across the 30. There's a penalty flag on the field right now. We'll see what this is going to be. Like we got one of the players for Enumclaw, Wyatt Ward, probably cramps. By the way, he was limping off the field. Holding penalty against the Titans. It's going to back them up 10 yards from the spot of this foul. So it looks like possibly the 42-yard line. Here we go, set up again. Once again, that's going to bring up second down, 1st and 15. Fakes it, play action, has a man open again. This time Lincoln threw that one a little short. Had two receivers out there in that area, one running up the numbers, one running up the hash mark. This time they're going to give it to Jones. Jones hurdles his first receiver, plows over the 30-yard line. And it looks like he's going to get down to the 26. So that'll bring up 3rd down. Gives it to him again. This time he fumbles it, but it bounces right back into his arms. McKee there to make the stop. Here's that run. Nice little hurdle over the pile there. And just kind of lowers the shoulder and runs through Patello. Play action here. Has a receiver. He's looking for a receiver down in the corner of the end zone. unable to make the connection, and they're going to get a penalty flag down in that area. Pass interference is probably going to be the call. Intended receiver. That's going to be Merriweather, number 47. Tried to get him down there in the corner. Merriweather, 6'4", 165, so definitely trying to get him and just let him climb that ladder above everybody else and kind of bring that one in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Going to get the penalty. He's going to bring up the first down. Here's the replay from the end zone camera. Yeah. And he still almost brought that one in. It still hit his hands.
It did. Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of intent to play the ball in that situation.
And here's the thing. He is a freshman.
And that brings up a good point. I mean, you have all these seniors who are leaving this team next year. Niall Jones, Lincoln Victor. I mean, and so who's going to fill in those spots? And you've got guys, like Tobias Merriweather and Tyler Summers that can really step in next year.
This time Victor's going to keep this one himself. He's going to make it down to the 2-yard line. Yeah, you're right. I mean, and that just kind of lets you know that Coach Rosenbach is always looking for, what's going on the next year. I mean, there's a freshman playing Friday night in a playoff game. That's a 4-year guy.
Yeah.
6'4", 165. I mean, he can put some more weight on that frame. But you can imagine what this young guy is going to look like by his senior year.
Yeah.
And then to see his athletic ability on that replay and his eye-hand coordination. I mean, he still had. There was still an opportunity to catch that. Lincoln Victor is going to punch his way through there for the touchdown. 54-14. And we are 6:49 into the third quarter. That's right, everybody. This is only 3 quarters have been played.
Yeah, so that does go ahead and put a 40-point difference between the two teams.
Yes, so that does create the running clock. Koga, the kicker here. Going to put that one through, and that will push it to 55 points. That will institute the running clock for the remainder of the game. We'll get back a little time on that one. Here's that replay. And I tell you what, there was something a little interesting because that was Elijah Taylor playing quarterback who handed the ball off to Niall for that touchdown. So Coach Rosenbach just having a little fun now, just letting everybody kind of get out there and enjoy this, enjoy the run. I mean, as most of you know, this is, and some of you might not know that this is a pretty special season for the Union Titans for the loss they suffered earlier in the season. So there's a whole lot that aside from just wanting to be the state champions, but there's extra. There's extra for this season, for this team to actually get here, and they have definitely got the guys to take it all this year.
They do, and it's I don't know if it's cliche, but this is really, it's starting to shape it to be a season that movies are made out of. It really is.
Yeah, it is. It is.
You see this on a Lifetime channel near you.
You are correct, Ryan. It's going to get picked up on the hop. And he'll be run out of bounds right there is Jacob. Takes a little extra pop there from Isaiah Jones on the sideline.
in games like this and the way they started, the intensity of them, when you get the separation, a 40-point separation, usually that dies down a little bit.
Yeah.
And it has not tonight.
No, not at all. Not at all. Oh, that was Darien Smith, 6'1", 215. Listed as their fullback. It's the first time we've seen him tonight. Union has started to substitute in some other guys. Isaiah Jones now out there lined up as the outside, as the corner. Intended receiver on that one is Burns.
Yeah, Rosenbach's definitely getting some new guys into the play. Number 10, Alex Wood, just checked in at the defensive back position. He's a sophomore, so definitely getting his guys some experience.
Yeah, most definitely. I think Elijah Juan Taylor was responsible for that incomplete pass on that last down there. He was in Krantz's face right now. Didn't really give him much to opportunity. Send a man in motion. This time they're going to hand this ball off. Running back breaks open into the open outfield. Gets down across the 50-yard line before he is stopped. That is Matthew Dion. He's a senior. Enumclaw down probably on the last, thinking about the same type thing, running clock situation. There's a lot of kids, this is going to be the last time they play football, giving them an opportunity. Matthew Dion is a senior. Going to send Burns in motion. Going to give it to the fullback right up top. He is going to push his way and ramble down to the 38-yard line. And that is Trevor Chase, also a senior.
Yeah, and he's only listed as a middle linebacker,
Yeah.
so he's getting some offensive work on the ball as well.
Looks like Elijah Juan Taylor, the only starter on the line there for the Union Titans. Drops back, looking for Loop. Unable to make the connection. Caden Loop, 6'1", 190. Caden's only a sophomore. So that's definitely somebody who Enumclaw is going to be looking to go to next year or the next couple of years. Third down, and Enumclaw brings in a whole new troop. This time Ricky Portello lined up out there as a slot receiver. They're going to hand this ball off again to Dion. Dion's going to take a big hit by Isaiah Jones, but he is going to get the first down. He's going to get down inside the 30, down to the 27. Clock continuing to run, 2:33 left to play, first down and 10. Hand off the replay, nice little run. High neck tackle there by by Isaiah Jones. Drop back, quick pass on the side. Loop is the intended receiver. He catches that, brings that in on the crowd. We're going to have a late penalty flag. Might call Union on a late hit on that play. We'll see. This is EPS Sports. Rod Lawrence, Ryan Vassbinder. That is going to be against Union, so that'll push the ball into the red zone. Or we actually already, well, no, that will actually put him into the red zone with that penalty. I want to thank you guys for joining us tonight. Also let you know that because this game has run so long, that Game 2 will start a little later than we had planned, but we actually will be on the air. We have to go on the air at a certain time, but the WIAA rules stipulate that the teams have to have a particular amount of time between games and opportunities to warm up. So then that's why the game will actually start. We'll actually come on the air at 7:30 like we're supposed to, but the game will probably start a little later than that, just so everybody's aware. Krantz goes in under the center. He's going to send Dion into motion. Steps back, a nice slant route. And that's going to be a touchdown there for Ethan Ellertson. Or Elertson, I'm sorry. And that will be his second touchdown of the night. So 36 seconds left to play in the third quarter, and the Hornets are able to put some more points here on the board. And he does get the extra point through, so that will push it to 21. 55-21 now is the score. 36 seconds left to play in the third quarter. So kind of looking at it here, you can see that Coach Rosenbach has definitely switched up the players that are in the game. We'll see what offense comes out. I would imagine we're still going to see Lincoln Victor and at least one of the starting running backs, either Ciafelli or Niles. But they have pulled Darien Chase and Joseph Ciafelli off the special teams. So neither one of them are now going to be on the field for the receiving team. They've got, looks like they're going to have Merriweather. Merriweather and Rogers now look like they're going to be the two deep men back there.
Yeah, with that Enumclaw touchdown, that does stop the running clock.
It does. Fulton Gunderson is the kicker for Enumclaw. And we have got the kick. Merriweather's going to take it off the bounce. He's going to go and run straight up the middle. He's going to go down at about the 25-yard line. So Jake Bowen now has gone in for the quarterback's position. Now 6'1", 175, and he's a sophomore, Ryan. So he's a Monday night player typically, getting some Friday night love. Isaiah Jones is out there, the running back. We've seen Isaiah gets a lot of time. And that is going to end the third quarter. So we'll come back here on the fourth quarter with a brand new quarterback for the Union Titans for the fourth quarter. Mr. Jack Bowen, a sophomore. This is the EPS Sports Rod Lawrence Ryan Vast Binder. We'll be right back to start the fourth quarter in a bit. Open in the middle of the football field, catches it for a touchdown. Would you look at that? Evergreen, would you look at that? Cool with the big three. Great. Takes it all the way now. Nice.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
All right, we're back. Pick up here as a nice little fly pattern happens. We're going to give that one to Lamont Lane. Came out of the slot formation there on the fly route. Or a fly sweep, I should say. Talked about it at the end of the third quarter, but there's a new quarterback out there, Jake Bowen, a sophomore. Two running backs out there.
High school football in November. Welcome to McKenzie.
High snap there. He gets that one down. Nice little run. He's going to take a knee right there at the 30. That's going to be Lamont Lane. So Lamont Lane and Isaiah Jones, no relation to Niall, are the two running backs today. We've got Merriweather out there on the far end. Alec Jackson also out there on the field.
So we are here at McKenzie Stadium for Mountain View and Ballard.
And C.J. Claudel is out there as the tight end.
As they say, it's supposed to be a 7:30 kick, but as it stands right now,
They're going to give this one to Jones, who's going to take it right up the middle. He's going to get almost to the 35-yard line. It's like the officials got him stopped at the 34. So this time they're going to bring out the punt team. Merriweather sprinting to get off the field. They brought out the punt team. Gets that punt off. That one's going to go straight up in the air. Take a bounce and go out of bounds, probably around the 50-yard line. Let's see where they're stopping that. And that looks like that is where they're going to stop it. Kicker Christian Alcon on that one. Wasn't able to get a real good boot on that one. Kind of kicked that one straight up in the air.
Yeah, normally he's a pretty good punter of the football.
Yeah,
so
sure
that's a little mistake that we've seen from him tonight. It's not going to change things in the grand scheme of things, but that's unusual that we see that from him.
Yeah, it is. It is. So they're going to spot the ball right there on the 44-yard line. Enumclaw will take the ball over from there. Offensively, Enumclaw still playing their starters, and there is the halfback pass. They're going to get that pass out there to Loop, and Loop is not going to be able to get into the touchdown, but it's going to be a big play. It's going to be brought down there by the safety. Good chase. Michael Rogers out there to make the touchdown-saving tackle.
Yeah, and Caden Loop only a sophomore as well. He's already 6'1", 190. So he's going to be a go-to guy in the future years for Enumclaw.
Yeah, he sure is.
Continues to grow.
So first down and 10 from the 11-yard line. Essentially, they can get 8 plays out of this. Going to hand this ball off again to the running back. And he is going to run hard and fight his way down to, it looks like about the 6-yard line. Nice run there for Dion. Here's the trick play. Burns with the connection to Loop. And I take that back. I gave the wrong man credit for the tackle. That's Merriweather who's able to run him down and make the tackle.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Matthew Dion has come in the second half as a running back, and he's only listed as middle linebacker. He's produced pretty well running the football so far.
He sure has. We're going to give it to the big man right up top, and he is going to get into the end zone for the touchdown, and that's going to be Cameron McKee. So that's going to push the score to 27.
Looks like Enumclaw may go for a 2-point conversion here.
Yeah, it looks like they are.
They kept the kicking team off on the sideline.
They're going to try to make this game as respectable as they can, get as many points on the board before they get out of here. Enumclaw has not taken their starters off the field as far as the offense is concerned. So McKee there lined up just to the right side. They're going to be a play action, then roll out and hit his man in the end zone for the extra points. That's going to be Jacob Burns there for the catch and the 2 points. So that's going to make it 55-29.
So that makes it a 26-point ball game. So we're still looking at 4 scores here.
Yeah, you sure are. You sure are.
I mean, I've seen weirder things happen in sports.
Yeah. We'll see how nervous Coach Rosenbach is about this by which offense shows up on the field. But you know what? The thing you kind of think about is, I mean, here's the quick replay on this one, and they just give it to McKee, and he's just not going to go down until he gets in. That's just straight determination right there. But you know, with this new thing we're doing out here in Washington, with this seeding of the 15 teams, I mean, does that mean you keep the pedal to the metal to get a better seeding score? I mean, you're beating a team who's you know, if you let a team get too close that you should have beat pretty bad, does that mess you up? You know, because you got a bunch of guys sitting around Sunday afternoon deciding your fate. Is that going to be based on how you played on Friday night? Or what is that ultimately really all about?
You know, I think that's something that that's the responsibility of the committee to really look at that. You know, to take a look at the box scores of those games and say, okay, what was the score at halftime? What was the score at the end of the third quarter? Where did these points come from?
Yeah.
And how did the game really play out?
Yeah, exactly. Now, that was Lincoln Victor they had as the deep man. He actually probably thinking that they might have gone for an onside kick. They opted to kick that one away and pushed Union deep into their own side of the field.
Now, it looks like Jake Bowen is back in there at quarterback.
Yeah.
Now, Jake Bowen did have quarterback responsibilities when Lincoln Victor was out with injury when they played Skyview.
He sure did.
So it looks like he may be their man going forward in the next year.
It could be. That could be who they're setting up for it. He's a different type quarterback. You know, he's obviously a whole lot taller. Could probably do some things different than Lincoln, as far as being able to stand there in the pocket and deliver the ball. And, you know, if you got guys like Merriweather coming back who's 6'4", and has some athletic ability, and Isaiah Jones, a junior who's coming back, another strong running back. You know, they're not going to lose a lot. It's going to be dependent on what that offensive line is going to be able to contribute next year. They'll definitely let us know how great these guys are going to be next season.
Yeah.
So they have got Lamont Lane and Jones in the game. They're going to give this ball to Jones this time. Jones is going to make it across the 20-yard line. Looks like they're going to give him down to about the 22, maybe 21 and a half. So Lane now moves out into the slot formation. Merriweather out there lined up out there between the numbers and the hash. This time the quarterback pulls that out and decides to keep it. And he is going to lose yardage on this. Kyle Ingebrigtsen, number 14. Is there, and that's going to lose some yardage on him, and they are going to bring out the kicking team again. McCann there, standing about the 48, 49 yard line, going to field this punt. Much better punt this time. He is going to fair catch this one. And it's going to be about 3 yards deep into their own side of the field. So 4:10 left to play. Clock continuing to run, so it looks like once 40 points hit, the clock runs and the clock runs. We were led to believe once you got inside the 40 that the clock would stop run with normal game playing time, but it looks like once it starts running, it's going to run for the rest of the game. Jackson Thomas now is the fullback. Got a play action and a nice little pass right in the middle to Burns. There to make the tackle is Alexander Gemmerman. Another handoff right up the middle. Time he looks like he's going to get about a yard. And that looks like Ingebrigtsen again there. Hands this off to Thomas right up the gut. Thomas is going to get across the 40 down to about the 38. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be about 3rd down and 6. Like the spot's got it listed at 3rd and 5. I formation. Krauts under center. Play action, rollout. And going to try to get that one out there. Try to get that one out there. That was Darien Smith, the intended receiver. And Alex Wood there to make the stop. Take that back. That was not Alex Wood. That was number 16. So that's Michael Rogers. Drops back. This time he's looking for a man out there in the corner. He's able to bring that one in. And they're going to give him the catch right there at the 10-yard line. Great catch there by the receiver for Enumclaw, Ethan Ellertson.
That was a great grab. He was forced, by the sideline. He just reached up, pulled it in.
Yeah. Nice little quick pass right off the line of scrimmage. And here is that replay. Just kind of puts that out there and let the receiver kind of run under that one. Both of them getting there. Good job. I mean,
takes a lot
Merriweather
of concentration.
was right there. He was right there on that one. Drops back again. Missed the opportunity for Ellertson right there, who was on the quick slant, wide open there in the end zone. Opted to go for the man in the corner.
like Enumclaw called a timeout with 10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, they're wanting to get another score on the board if they can.
Yeah.
Missed opportunity on that last play. Krantz missed his chance. He had a man break free right there on a slant route and opened up right there in the middle of the field.
Yeah, so with Union winning this football game, we'll find out who they play on Sunday afternoon after the committee meets.
Yes.
We're supposed to meet Sunday morning. I'm sure over donuts and coffee.
Yeah. You can't meet without donuts and coffee. I think that's a must-do. All right, 10 seconds left to play in this game. Enumclaw trying to put some more points on the board before it's all said and done. Looking for his man in the middle, and he's going to hit him. That's going to be Jacob Burns there for the touchdown. With 5 seconds left to play, they are able to get this score closer. And now 35. Now they're only down by 20. So something for the squad to feel good about. They were able to put 3 scores on the scoreboard here. Bit of an asterisk. I mean, Union had pulled all their number ones out of the game, and they were playing against their twos, but they still executed well and made the catches that they needed to make to get the score. And then there's another catch. So that'll bring them under 20 points now. So they lost this game by less than 20.
Yeah, they did, and it's just a little bit of sugar on top.
Yeah.
For Kellen Krantz, his last play that he threw in high school football was a touchdown. And conversion for the 2 points, and for a lot of these guys, it's a bittersweet ending, playing their last down of possibly football ever.
Yeah, it sure is. It sure is.
I think Union's got a strong argument to be seated very high.
Yes.
Come Sunday, Enumclaw, they've got a good team, and I think they're going to come back strong next year as well. We'll have to see. They've got a tough division up there.
Yeah, they sure do. They sure do. Hats off to Coach Mark Gunderson and the Enumclaw coaching staff. Brought a well-coached football team down here and played a good football game out here. We'd like to thank everybody who signed in via the YouTube channel to watch the game. We appreciate you guys tuning in to watch your kids, nephews, and uncles and what have you out here, down here, play football down here in Clark County. So thank you very much for joining us tonight. 5 seconds left to play in the game. Lincoln Victor is going to pick this one up and take a knee. That will run the remainder of the time off the clock there. So with Lincoln Victor downing the kickoff, the game is now ended at 55-37. Union Titans moving on to the next round in the tournament as they fight their way to the road to the Tacoma Dome for the championship game. So, just quick before we close this up, just remind everybody the next game, we will be back on the air in approximately 10 minutes, but the game will not start until probably closer to 8 o'clock this evening, just because we got to give these next two teams ample time to warm up before they can play. But, Union, like you talked about, Ryan, Union did what Union needed to do. Union did what Union always kind of does. The one thing, if I have to say, if there's any critique, it's those penalties.
Yeah.
That would be my only critique that I would have against these guys right now is they got to get that taken care of. Other than that, it was Darien Chase's night tonight. We'll see whose night it's going to be next week.
we certainly will. I'm excited to see next week's game. This Union team's good.
Yeah, they are.
They really are, and it's sometimes you watch teams and you're like, yeah, they're good, and they get by. But this Union team's solid all the way around.
They are, and we're going to let that end the note here. Hey, Rodney Lawrence, Ryan Vaspiner, this is EPS Sports. Hey, go take a break, get something to eat, and come back for Game 2. The Mountain View Thunder are going to go against the Ballard, and we'll be right back with that game. This is EPS Sports. You guys have a great evening. We'll see you in a bit.